My name's Gary Schmidt, and over the years I've taught literally thousands of teenage drivers how to drive. And there's something that's always troubled me, and I recognize is a major problem, in that the 6 hours of training that teenagers get to go pass their Department Motor Vehicle test is wholly inadequate, and they're not really prepared for their driving career, and it really falls to the parents to take that challenge and to really work with them. But there's not been anything with training for parents or resources the parents could really use in giving them a guideline and tips and tricks and techniques to help teach their sons and daughters. And that's our children are our most precious gift. So I have set out to create over 100 videos professionally done, and it's a work in progress, and we'll keep improving them. We estimate that the project will cost a little around $40,000 to do it, and we want to make them available to as many people as possible as a community service. And so basically, with the GoFundMe program, if there's $40 or more that are contributed, we'll make those videos available for lifetime access. So all those videos can be used even for the younger children as they come up and begin to want to learn how to drive. At American Driving School, we have 20 years of experience, and we've taught over 50,000 students. And so we've learned a thing or two about teaching teenagers how to drive and how to be safe. And that's the purpose of these videos. It's going to cover all areas of driving. These are some of the students that we taught, just some pictures that we have on the wall. And you know, when teenagers begin to drive, it's a very exciting time, but it's also a major change as far as in the home, because when they start to get access to the car, then you begin to see them less and less as they're out with their friends. But again, that's the #1 cause of traffic accidents, or #1 cause of death for teenage drivers, you know, from 16 on up to 25. Just because they're 21, 25, 18 doesn't mean they're going to drive any better unless they're really getting the training that they need. A little background on myself is that of course, when I was younger, I played some professional baseball in the White Sox organization, served with the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and then I did karate, and my main first instructor was a man named Fumio Demura, and he was also known. You can go to Netflix and pull up the real Miyagi, because he's the one that really had to do with the movie and what was done in the Karate Kid and so on. This is a picture of Fumio and I having a reunion, and right here you see my name in Japanese. It's Gary, and the reason I bring this up, he gives me an admonition here, and what he's saying here: don't be lazy, be diligent, and focus. And of course, that's apropos for someone who is the real Miyagi. And but you take baseball, you take the Marine Corps, and you take martial arts. They all three have two things mainly in common, in that they focus and they do drills over and over, what I call concentration drills, until you really develop the muscle memory and become very skilled at what you're doing. And this is what parents need to do when they're working with their teens, and they need to go out and keep working with them and teaching them and following the guidelines and reminding them of safety tips and things to do for as long as you have an opportunity and they're living underneath your roof. One of the things too is when a parent starts to do the instruction, they need to make them relaxed. And I used to kind of have fun, and when they get in the car with me and you know, I gave them a magic word. I said, you know, out there you're going to see reckless drivers, and some people have their own magic word for those reckless drivers, but I have mine. And then I tell them, you know, a silly word, but I say, I want you to take your finger up and look out that window and say, "You dirty rat-a-frat." And of course they kind of laugh, but they stumble and they say it, "Rotten pack-a-loomer." And they go ahead and they're looking at me like I'm kind of crazy, and then all of a sudden they say, you know, some drivers are dirty ratafrats, some drivers are rotten packaloomers, but some drivers are dirty ratafrat packaloomers. Can't even say it myself now. And they kind of laugh. And then I take, you know, from the movie Karate Kid and the steering wheel, and I say, you know, we have two code words, you know, wax on, wax off grasshopper, you know, the circular motion. And then also if they jerk the steering wheel with their hands or punch the gas or the brake with their foot, I tell them if you do that, you're going to have to go ahead and talk to your hands and your feet and say, be cool, my babies, be cool. Well, you know, just trying to break the ice and keep them relaxed. It's a good idea to have just one parent who's doing the main teaching, and usually one or the other, mother or the father, are better at being relaxed with their son or daughter. But anyway, this is, you know, preparing them for whether they drive on the streets, whether they drive freeways or windy roads, going way beyond that and giving many, many tactics and things that will keep them safe. And you know, I taught a lot of policemen their children, and I had one father one student got in after their third lesson, and I said, how did it go with your mother practicing? She said, well, it went really pretty good. But she said the other day, I was out with her, and this student's mother was in supervisory for Homeland Security, and her husband also was for gangs. So they both had black Crown Victorias in their driveway with all the antennas, unmarked car. It's kind of like what a movie. You can kind of smile when I drove up there because he had his and her Crown Victorias. And she said, my mother, the light turned green, and my mother said, go. And I did what you said. I went 1001 and then went, and a car ran the light. And I turned to her mother and said, I did what Mr. Schmidt said. And mother said, well, that saved our life. So there are many, many little safety tips and tactics that need to be reminded and reinforced. And you can see here critical driving skills, and that comes under those areas. And there are videos I put in here that parents need to watch together in their home with their teen son or daughter, and then, you know, the other areas of driving that are critical. And so when they begin to drive, we all remember it's a very exciting time, and you know, it's something that you know, we have our precious treasure, you know, our children in those cars, and we want to make sure they're as safe as possible. We don't want to gamble with their lives. They start going out with their friends, and then you don't see them so much, and you want to make sure that they come home. Cars have gotten safer, and roads have gotten safer for the most part, but teen drivers have not. And you know, many of these accidents I feel they've had that could have been greatly prevented, but they never learned certain key skills, and they didn't have sufficient practice, so they had the muscle memory to deal with the surprises on the road. For parents, as we mentioned, our most precious possession is our children. Nothing's more sad than to lose a son or daughter and in a car accident. Parents must take seriously the responsibility to teach their son or daughter how to drive skillfully, because their lives depend upon it. An average of 6 teenagers die per day from motor vehicle injuries, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. These accidents resulted in 373,645 injuries and 2,927 deaths, according to AAA. In our parent-to-teen videos, you will discover the best tactics, techniques, and drills to help safety-proof your teenage son or daughter's driving. Parents need to realize that 50 hours of driving practice with your teen son or daughter is not enough training time, even after they have passed their DMV. Very, very important to continue their training for as long as you have them under your roof and your care. Your goal as the parent is to help prevent them from having an accident and from having what I call a scary hallelujah driving event. And so we don't want to gamble with their lives. You also will discover how to help your son or daughter pass the DMV exam the very first time. I had such success. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but that I kind of, when I took my students out, I said, we're going to work so that when you go to the DMV, you're not only going to pass, you're going to score 0, which means that they didn't make any mistakes. And I had a number of students that they were able to do that or come very close to it. And it got so good that one of the DMV examiners said, oh, you have Mr. Schmidt, and you're going to get 0. So they came back and told me that's what they said. So we had great success teaching these students. So what's the parent to do? Because parents have such busy schedules nowadays, it's very hard to spend the time. Most parents have developed bad driving habits since their first behind-the-wheel test. Teenage sons and daughters, by watching their parents, start imitating incorrect and bad habits. And I've talked to a few students. I'm going to put some of them in the video and interview them, and you can listen for yourself what they say about their parents and what they noticed their parents are doing wrong in their driving. And they've just learned the bad habits for such a long period of time that it's hard for them to correct it. So until now, a comprehensive step-by-step video guide for parents hasn't been available, and that's our whole purpose of creating these videos. For helping us to keep funding the production of what soon will be over 100 professionally done videos, we would like to give families a lifetime access for only a one-time $40 contribution. So $40 or more, and we'll give you lifetime access, and you can share them with your friends. We want to get them out there to as many people. So this is important. So please, please, we want you to help us share these videos with everyone. It will save lives. Once you follow these great step-by-step video guides that we are going to create and have created, you'll feel comfortable knowing that you have a plan and a blueprint to follow. You'll feel relieved that you are doing the best job possible for teaching your teen, and you will reduce worry for yourself when your teenage son or daughter starts driving. Many parents, it's really a hallelujah moment for them trying to teach their son or daughter, and so this is really going to help. You'll be amazed how simple drills and tips greatly improve their driving and yours, and you'll have peace of mind knowing that you've prepared your teenager the best you can. So many parents don't take this serious, and they don't realize, and even if they can't put all the time in, their teen son or daughter can review the videos themselves also. As I mentioned before, until now, a comprehensive step-by-step video guide for parents has not been available. This is why I'm taking the time to really put my heart into it, heart and soul, and make the best videos out there that parents can have, and as I said before multiple times, and save lives. Here's why you'll want these great step-by-step video guides. You'll discover quick, fun, and easy drills to share with your son or daughter. You'll be amazed how simple drills and tips greatly improve their driving and yours. And that's another thing, because a lot of parents can review these videos and they can sharpen up and correct their bad driving habits. They will cover all city driving situation skills and life-saving safety tips. We also want to solicit any suggestions or questions that parents have. We'll give them opportunity to ask us, and we can develop videos along those lines also. You'll know how to know and discover the best way to develop critical freeway driving, learn how skilled drivers navigate winding mountainous roads, and as I said, receive lifetime access to all future video tutorials and use for all members of your family. By helping us with our Parent to Teen project, you'll immediately get access to all our current video tutorials and all future produced videos for your whole family. And by contributing only $40 or more one time, you'll be able to review all these videos with your children while they are still living at home with you. And by helping us to produce more professional video tutorials, it will help save, as we mentioned before multiple times, teenage lives, possibly your own. Here is what you need to do if you would like to help us on our Parent to Teen project. For only $40 one-time contribution, you will get, as I said, lifetime access. When you do that, you'll want to email to us, parentsteachingteens@gmail.com, and we'll send you the link necessary for your lifetime access to the videos and all future videos that we're creating with this project. And so these videos are important, as I mentioned, for parents to know. Forgive me if I've been a little repetitious. I'm not a professional movie maker in the sense of like an actor. This is just all coming from my heart and what we want to do. And so, you'll be able to know, use, and review these with your teen son or daughter. And I would like to, I'm going to make my picture a little larger here. And I would just like to thank you. I would like to thank you in advance for helping us with this great project that will save teen lives. Thank you much.